Hey guys, hey, it's Bob, at Bob Cycle Barn, or Bob Psycho Barn, as more commonly known. Hey, I'm working on suspension. As you guys know, we're kind of specializing in suspension work these days, and I wanted to show you something that I've assembled here to get the air out of shocks. So anyway, let me walk back to the back of the place. I'm gonna turn this camera around. Hopefully not point it too much at the ground. You can see some of my old, by the way, there's a Husky we just finished restoring, I guess 6 months ago maybe. We have a few things left to do to it. One is to get the clutch and cable rigged up and stuff, but anyway, we finished that. And the other project we're getting ready to work on shortly is this 79 CR 250. It was known as the Red Rocket or the Red Racer, but we always called it the Red Rooster. Okay, so we're going to be working on that. We got to take some dents out of the tank, paint everything again, get it all back to that nice red color. The nice thing about, or the unique thing about this bike is that the engine, everything was painted red, and it was a striking motorcycle when it was first introduced. Suzuki, in response to that, painted their engines blue, so that blue and yellow combination. That fad only lasted a year or two, and then they stopped doing it. But anyway, we're going to try to get it back to where it was. It's a big project because this thing was used and abused, but we'll have it looking pretty good in a couple of months. Roger Call's helping me on this. He's doing most of the work. I'm just kind of hanging out and that sort of thing. Anyway, all right, so anyway, let's get over here to the suspension area. Here's the shock I'm working on. It's a KTM shock. Some ways they're a little easier to service than the KYBs or the Showas, but I'm just got through. You can see the oil. This thing needed it bad, and when this gets like this, it gets smelly too. But anyway, I've put fresh oil in it, and in a little bit I'll get started on getting that oil, get all the air out of the oil. So I'm gonna just pause the camera now for a little while and get everything ready, and then I want to show you what I have engineered to get air out of the shock. Talk to you in a little bit. Okay guys, I'm ready to start using the vacuum system that I've kind of created here. I did this out of parts I had, and let me get the camera here for a second. This is called a HelioSure. This is an evacuating system for taking the air out of a lot of different things, but it works good for motorcycle shocks and that sort of thing. So what we did was, we'll start at the beginning here. This one is hooked up to this KTM shock. KTM has a nice port here that you can hook into. It's way better than the Kawabas and Showa forks, and Showa shocks and stuff, in that it's easy to access. You can plug this tube right into it. What this tube does, it's the main source of fluid for the shock. It either is sucking or blowing, as they say, through this port right here down to here. Over on this side, we have a gauge, which you really don't need to look at too much, but anyway, there's the gauge over there that works both ways, both for vacuum and for positive pressure. In addition to that, there's a lever switch here for this in this direction. If I can turn it in this direction. In this direction, it is on pressure, and then on this one, of course, it's on vacuum, and then this is off. Over here, we've got a vacuum pump. It's a vane type of suction pump. In between the pump is this bottle. We rigged this up. Initially, we just had this line running directly to the pump. But what we found is that sometimes it would suck fluids back in and into the pump. And this pump takes a very specific type of lubricant to keep those veins lubricated correctly, and so forth, so forth. So anyway, that's the setup. I'm gonna put this on pause for just a second and hook up my pressure lines and stuff like that, and let you take a look at it. The last thing I'd like to say is I put it on a table. You can see this table, it was a roll around. That way I can move this out of the way when I'm not using it, and also I can, but when I do need to use it, I can get it over close to the suspension bench and that sort of thing. All right, thanks. Let me put this on pause, and then we'll be back in just a second. All right, I'm back. Just one other thing I forgot to talk about a little bit, but I put a pressure regulator over here. It's plugged into the air system we have in the shop. They recommended that you set this pressure switch at 45 psi. That's what I've done. I guess I'm ready to start doing this. I'm going to turn on the vacuum pump. Okay. If I turn on the vacuum pump, I got it plugged into, 110, 115, 120, whatever current. You see the pump start to work. I got to put the lever over to that. Oh, you saw it. Look at all the air sucking out of there. There's a lot of air. I actually left a little air in there because I knew I was doing this, so I just wanted to see, make this dramatic as I could. You can see we put this little catch bottle in here just because it is picking up some fluids and that sort of thing. Okay, I'm going to turn this off now, off of vacuum. Okay guys, I'm back again. Just to finish this setup, what I have going here is I have a pressure regulator over here. It's set to around 40 pounds of pressure. It feeds into here, okay, and then from there it goes through the HelioSure system. Somebody catch that. Somebody catch that phone. Well, it's probably junk. All right. So anyway, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm gonna fire up the vacuum thing. I'm gonna switch it to vacuum. You can see the shaft is all the way extended. Turn the vacuum machine on. And here we go. It's gonna suck the fluid out. You'll see it rise in here. Okay, it's rising. You'll see the shaft is going in. Okay, and when it gets pretty much there up to the bumper, which it is now, I'm going to switch it over to air, and now that HelioSure empties itself and pushes fluid into the shock, which extends the shaft back out again. And do it again. Put it on vacuum. It's sucking and you can see the line is clear now. It's probably pulled all the air out of it. Okay. All right, and now I'll switch it back over to vacuum again. This sure makes a big difference, bleeding these shocks. I used to do it all by hand, but now it's a lot easier, and it gets rid of all the air. All right, that's enough for that, and I'm gonna reassemble the shock now and do all that other stuff. But I want to show you But anyway, that's a little thing about our new setup. Oh, by the way, I put it on this roll around cart. That way I could keep it here at my suspension area if I was working over here, or if I wanted to put it away and use it later, I could do that too. So anyway, that's a little heads up on what we're doing at Bob's Cycle Barn.